And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day serving as your consumer advocate. It's all about helping you understand your buying decisions out there. Over 50 show partners, 80 show categories, and we want to engage with you as our listening audience, our radio family out there, and we want to help you live a better life and avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent out there in our community. And this is Intelligent Talk Radio. We want to make sure you as well save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. Now make sure you save that number in your hotline. Give us a call, text us, and it's an off-air number, by the way. You're not going to be put on air. And then we also have our website, consumerqb.com. There's a plethora of information available for you at consumerqb.com. And you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty here in Tampa Bay. Let's go around the horn now, make our introductions. Richard Alexander back in studio. Alexander Law, welcome in, sir.
Thank you, Brandon. I just love the way you say my name, man. That's the best part. That's the best part.
Attorney Richard Alexander in studio.
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year 2020. Can you believe it?
Yeah, no, new decade.
It's crazy.
Yeah, somebody just pointed that out. Hey, we're going to a new decade. I went, oh my God, we are.
And it clicks in, and you're like, wait, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember in school, thinking back, I was graduated mid to late 90s. And I'm looking back, I'm like, man, I wonder what it's going to be when the clocks roll to 2000, and then we had the Y2K. Now we're here 20 years past that.
Yeah, I know. Remember that? We were worried about silos coming up out of the ground and
all
computers going haywire. And that turns out that was 21 years ago. I mean, it's
unbelievable.
It's insane. Yeah.
Traveling fast. So you're a consumer advocate as well, helping people understand the updates on laws, things happening. We're going to talk about, get cell phone, the texting laws, yes. And also some interesting stuff about when attorneys get disciplined.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. We got Gulfside Healthcare Services in studio as well. Allison Maughn, Chief Financial Officer. Welcome in.
Thank you, Brandon.
My pleasure. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, we're talking about the hospice thrift shops that we have with Gulfside. I'm so excited because I'm a shopper and I deal with money, so it's a win-win for me.
Yeah, I like that. My mom loves shopping, doing the thrift.
That's right, and do it yourself.
Trend. Right.
You can do things yourself by picking stuff up there too.
DIY,
Love
absolutely. People can make a little side income, a little side hustle.
That's right.
That's right. Now, you also brought Aaron Barrish with you as well, Director of Thrift Shops. Welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. All right. So you're the Director of Thrift Shops. Tell us about it.
Yes, Director of 5 thrift shops here in Pasco County. We're from corner to corner, and we're all over here raising money to support the mission of hospice.
Nice. And that is a great mission, by the way. We've got 3 lines of business, 4 lines, I guess, with the shops. You got palliative care, home health care, and also hospice. So we'll talk deeper in that. We're going to talk about that. So you may want to think about any loved ones that you have in your family that are aging or potentially maybe went through some kind of an accident. This show is great because we got attorney Richard Alexander on the show, personal injury law, kind of get that aspect. And he does a lot of other types of law. He's an educator as well. But we have Gulfside Healthcare Services here in studio as well. So that's going to be speaking directly to those types of scenarios and much more as well, of course, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. You can find us 4 o'clock drive time on AM 860 The Answer, weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone. And we also have our TV show on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Sony TV, and 85 other outlets. Search Binge Networks online, and you'll see all of our great content there as well. Follow us as well. We'd love to connect with you on social. There's a lot happening on social. We just had Ken Shamrock in town, UFC Hall of Famer, WWF wrestling legend, and he's also Valor BK. He launched Valor BK as well. He's my business partner on a company called the Business Growth Celebrity Academy. But if you follow us online, you'll be able to connect with us, and you'll know when we're doing these different cool events, things happening like that as well in the community. At Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, and the Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. And of course, our YouTube channel has a lot of great content there as well. We've had all the local mayors on the show, Buccaneer football players, and lots of cool FBI hostage negotiators, lots of fun stuff happening around the Consumer Quarterback Show. And this segment is brought to you by Replenish IV Solutions, one of our friends with the program, longtime friend of the program, Stephen and Lisa Gunnan, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. You got vitamins, minerals, electrolytes directly injected right into your bloodstream, and it's perfect. They've got one of them called it's kind of comical. It says "Weekend at Vegas" is one of the name. One of the name. I think we've been there every now and then. You got the health and wellness, the performance. Of course, the most popular, I believe, is the Myers cocktail. These are awesome opportunities. Once a month, I go down and get that oil change, so to speak, done, and it's awesome. I love visiting the folks down at Replenish IV Solutions, Gandy Boulevard, also North Tampa, over by Barrish and Del Mabry. So thanks for supporting Replenish IV Solutions. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, let's jump right into it. We got some great content here to get into. Richard Alexander, attorney Richard Alexander here in studio. Talking about attorneys when they get disciplined, there's a lot of stringent rules and laws, and the bar's going to come down on you sometimes, right? If you're not doing the right thing, and especially protecting the consumer.
Yeah, and we attorneys, sometimes it's going to happen. The Florida bar, we all I tell people all the time, we all have a boss, even if we're solos. And that's the Florida bar, because they hold our license.
Absolutely.
That allows us to practice law, because advising somebody on a legal issue, is illegal.
Yeah,
because you need a license. Just same thing as practicing medicine. And every month we get the attorney disciplines. All attorneys that have been all in the state of Florida have been disciplined by the Florida bar. You can get a public reprimand, which is literally what it says. They will issue a public statement. Wow. And put it in your permanent file that you had to do something like take an ethics course.
Wait, where does that go? Are they posting that online?
It goes on the website, yeah, because every member of the Florida Bar has to be listed in the floridabar.com.
Wow.
And it will literally go right on your website.
Wow.
Why you've been reprimanded.
And I imagine our good friend Google's going to pull that up. If you throw a name into Google, that's probably going to be somewhere at the top.
Well, you know what they say, the internet's forever.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, they're not kidding.
Yeah.
And, they can get suspended. Or the license can be, literally revoked, or you can be, permanently disbanded, from the Florida bar.
Yeah.
So, they're very serious consequences when you consider the amount of work someone puts in to become an attorney.
Yeah. Speak to that too, man. Kind of flip. I want to make one comment, and then I want to flip to that side. In real estate, we see it too, man. There's good, better, and best. I always say there's good, better, and best in every industry. And unfortunately, you have the situations where there's unscrupulous dealers out there. There's all types of schemes I've seen in real estate where they're showing, the older client. They're showing the comps that may not necessarily be comps to justify value. And by the way, they're friends and investor. So you see how that happens, right? So there's all these scenarios where people, when they're in a fiduciary capacity, and there's none higher than a personal attorney, especially if you're dealing with being sued or personal injury sued, or one of those scenarios where some of the things that you come into play. But yeah, so it happens in different industries, and then so. It's interesting.
You said the one word that is key, which is fiduciary.
Yes.
Which means you must always look out to the other person's best interest, including to your detriment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's key, because not a lot of people can do that.
Yeah, because I make more commission if I sell this type of thing or that type of thing.
Right. And, lawyers get in trouble for either one of two things. And this is a high majority of reasons why the Florida bar gets involved.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you like to play fast and loose with the money. And that's a big problem, especially a trust account, because once money goes in the trust account, it's not your money, meaning the attorney's money yet.
Right.
If it goes into trust, that literally is what it means, trust for the client.
Yeah.
And lawyers sometimes, again, one or two reasons. Lawyers sometimes, don't turn over all the money they're supposed to turn over.
Wow. And it's just an error, just a mistake, right?
Or they use a lot of that money to pay off bills, or to, just stop the fact that they're way in over their head already. So they kind of use that to get caught up.
Would that be considered co-mingling funds as well?
Co-mingling is a classic example of why the Florida bar gets involved.
Yeah.
You cannot co-mingle money.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And trust accounts are sacred. And the Florida Bar, they do audits all the time. Show us your books when it comes to trust accounts.
Yeah, that's why property management, we stay away from it. Matter of fact, Keller Williams Corporate, Keller Williams, #1 real estate company in the world, 180,000 plus agents, sales associates. They, as a company, I think it's as a company, but I know at least our brokerage that handles 36 in the South Florida, all of South Florida, 36 Keller Williams, the South Florida region. They say no property management, because when you're taking money, giving it to the tenant, giving it to the landlord, you're dealing that you're opening yourself up to a lot of legalities.
Well, I happen to know a little bit about Keller Williams, and I know they have this extensive checklist.
Yeah.
When it comes to, getting involved with clients, as far as buyers or sellers.
Right.
And if one of those boxes is unchecked, I know Keller Williams KW will say, make sure this box is checked, or we don't have a done deal.
Yeah. #1 in education, training, marketing, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so it's a big point. And then I wanted to ask you as well, let's get to the texting law before the break, but then I also want to ask you a little bit of detail about getting into law. And I know you're passionate about education. You also teach as an educator.
Yeah, well, let me follow up with the second reason why
please.
people get disciplined is because you failed to respond to the Florida Bar's inquiry. Because they send you letters and you ignore them.
What? Wow. That's...
let me tell you how. I think that's so stupid.
Yes.
Because you're ignoring the one entity that holds your license to practice law.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Those got to be situations where somebody has, the cancer, death, major issue, something along those lines, but still ignoring it.
Just ignoring it.
Yeah. There's a lot more behind that story whenever that's the situation. Texting law. Tell us about it. If you're driving now, by the way, if you just joined us, Brandon Brimes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're talking with Richard Alexander, attorney Richard Alexander Law, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, texting and driving.
January 1st, 2020 just went into effect. And, what law enforcement did, local agencies, they put us on notice. They said, listen, we may pull you over in the month of October, November, December, but we're going to give you a warning.
Yes.
We're going to start issuing tickets come the beginning of the new year. So now it's a primary offense, which means they can pull you over just for that. And if it's in a construction zone or a school zone, you cannot have your phone on you at all.
Wow.
So now we have the texting and driving, which is a primary offense. And these are moving violations. So get ready for those 3 points.
Wow.
And then you know who else is going to get involved. Which your insurance company finds out about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because insurance companies are in the business for profit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't anybody ever tell you otherwise. Insurance companies, their profits, not revenue, but their profits are in the billions.
Yeah.
So they never feel sorry for insurance
Speaking of that,
companies.
I just saw that old movie with, I think it was Matt Damon, the attorney? He was a young attorney working, and it had Danny DeVito in it.
Oh, yeah.
The classic Grisham novel.
Right, yeah.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, and Danny DeVito going into hospitals and picking up clients. Yeah, which is an automatic disbarment.
Yeah, exactly. Great character, though. Funny back in the day. And, interesting movie. But, insurance companies are in business to make money. They love to take the payment every month.
Sure, they will.
But then it hassles, what about this? Was it the rising water that caused the event, or was it the rain that caused the event? Was it the wind? Looking for ways to get out of paying claims in a lot of cases.
Yeah, like that woman, where the alligator broke into her home.
Yeah.
It went viral, and the insurance company denied her claim.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, how about that?
Unbelievable. Yeah, because it didn't specifically say an alligator coming into the house.
I don't know what happened, but
Right.
I don't know how that's her fault. But
Exactly.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's an event that could be catastrophic event. How do you look at that, right? So,
Right.
And that's what they say. But hey, good stuff. More from Richard Alexander here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. We have Gulfside Healthcare Services coming up as well here on the show. Lots of great content here, helping you win as your consumer advocate. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after this short message.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have
something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember. I still about
Yes.
To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections for
Battles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, you know, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that image because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, you know, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty. We want to help you win in your real estate business, buying, selling, or investing. Got a couple of hot properties here. Got a $2 million property. Where are my VIP CEO $2 million buyers here? 4348 Harbor Point Drive in Port Richey. Ultimate security, ultra security, right on the Gulf front. Look at this palace right on the Gulf of Mexico. Bring your boat, and also just a wonderful opportunity for great entertaining. 4348 Harbor Point Drive, Port Richey. $2 million listing of mine and the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Gorgeous property, just beautiful views throughout. And we actually did a flyover video. One of my pilot buddies, we flew over, took up the plane. You can see that video on YouTube and Facebook, of course. But a beautiful property, $2 million listing. Now you got 2 security gates to get into the community. Before you're even on the road, the street Harbor Point, you have to go through 2 different guard gates, and it's a great opportunity. You got room for all your toys there as well. Great opportunity. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com for all of our real estate listings. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. And we are back here in studio. The goal is to help you win here. Let's go ahead and bring in Allison Maughn, Chief Financial Officer, Gulfside Healthcare Services. So tell us more about, the different opportunities: shop, donate, volunteer.
And that's specifically to the Gulfside Hospice Thrift Shops, which is terrific. Gulfside Healthcare Services is hospice, palliative care, and home health these days. But I love the shop, donate, volunteer. That's our tagline.
Yes.
To get people into the shops, because we have 5 of them.
5 different places where folks can go and get good discounts on some nice products.
Right. That's right. And it's the mission that counts for us. But behind that mission, you have to have money. They talk about that mission, no margin, no mission.
Right.
And we merge those concepts together. I call it my frugal fundraising
Ah,
on behalf
frugal
of
fundraising.
hospice patients. And we do that really well in Pasco County as the leading nonprofit thrift shops in the county.
Wow. Yeah, I like that. And that's a trend that you've seen over the last, couple, decade or so, like more and more folks
true.
are, it seems like there's in America, there's that element of, hey, I don't want it anymore. We're such a purchasing community, or citizens rather, and we say, hey, let's give it up, and it's a great opportunity for organizations to raise money because you guys are a nonprofit.
That's right. And we take everything that comes into the shops and we really repurpose it and put it out there in an effort. Somebody else's treasure. We've heard that before,
Yes.
too. It may be
right.
something I want to let go, but it could be someone else's treasure. And I talk about this in Pasco County. The socioeconomic status and the average median salary in Pasco County is
Right.
in a lower economic status. And so we're targeting and reaching out to the community at that level, but at any level, because we can repurpose, we can redesign, we can do it yourself. I just love the overall concept of that and turn it around, and it just benefits a hospice patient in the end.
Yeah. Do you guys pick it up as well? Do the pickups?
We do.
Nice.
We do have deliveries. They're scheduled.
It's
'cause-
ultra convenient.
That's right. And we encourage anybody to just come right on into the shop. You never know. 40,000 square feet of retail space.
Wow, 40,000 square feet. That's awesome. So let's talk about, we talk about the shopping side, palliative care, home health care, and hospice. Do you want to jump into those as well?
I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
And I've been working in hospice for over 17 years. I experience it personally, and I experience it on this side as a provider. And it just makes it exciting because I feel like every single day I'm helping someone. But hospice really helps those at end of life. Palliative care deals with a chronic illness concept. And home health goes right into how do we help make you better. The nice thing about us is that we can do that in a continuity, have a continuity. So you can get to know us in home health, even when we're younger. Like, let's say I had knee surgery because I fell down and slipped, all the way to that last moment that I take my last breath type
Yeah.
thing.
Wow.
So we're with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about in the past shows as well, the when there's that one family member that it's just, oh, well, let's let Aunt Louise deal with Mama, or however that plays out, right? And then there's that one person in the family that has all of the stress on her, and then she's not getting her nails done or her hair done or
oh no.
Yeah, exactly. So so that's the idea too with the home health care is, it's something where you can come in, that person that's going to come into the home, they're knowledgeable, they're very friendly, and they're trained for specifically that purpose. And it gives the family member the time to have some of their downtime, some of their own time.
And we can help teach you. Home health gives us as clinicians an opportunity. I know my dad did that when he had to learn how to handle, when my mom had open heart surgery, had to learn how to do the wound vac. Home health comes in, they teach the family members how to help the loved one.
Yeah.
And on the hospice side, we add extra services across an interdisciplinary team. So we are there to help the family and the patient
I like
on that
that.
side.
Yeah.
So it's an all around thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So so if you just joined us, by the way, Allison Maughn here in studio, Chief Financial Officer, Gulfside Healthcare Services on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And when you look at the overall environment, I mean, it's prime Florida. We know we have a lot of boomers down here. And what are some signs that they, for that person in the home, they're looking at, hey, my aunt's getting older, my grandma, my mom, what are some signs that they might want to say, this is something where I need to contact Gulfside?
Great question, Brandon. And so we have people in the community that help with that. But I know I watched my mom do a decline because she had Alzheimer's, and so it really became a moment where you could just see them not doing the same things in the same way.
Right.
But because we're there with home health, anytime you have an event that puts you in a place of needing healthcare services, we're that healthcare outside of hospital walls.
Yes.
And I kind of think of it that way. I want to be home and I want to be comfortable in my home. And to do that, the second I went in and I had that surgery on my knee and I said, I've got to go home, but I'm not sure how to get around, I call Gulfside.
Yeah.
We're actually in the hospital right there and can be referred as one of those that can just come in and talk in that moment and help you through the process.
Wow. Yeah. So it's a transitional time a lot of times in the the life of our loved ones, and it's it's a fortunate thing. It's going to happen to all of us, right? I mean,
It
we're going
is.
to age.
I
we're
feel
going to get
that every day.
Yeah,
I'm
me
getting a little
too.
older.
Absolutely, my shoulder, matter of fact, today. So yeah, so the idea for our listening audience is maybe they might want to volunteer. Lots of ways they can engage. They can volunteer. They can donate. Go ahead.
And for the thrift shops in particular, and in my world, when we talk about the financials part of it or the finance, I think it's hard for people to understand that you can utilize your Medicare benefit, and that can be such an important part of that transition from a managed care product where you're younger and you're having that surgery. Home health can help you to, we see so much of our funding coming from Medicare when you're in your end of life, because so many people are on Medicare at that time. But getting to know us and being part of the community, our thrift shops are out there in the community, so we're that face. That's your first moment that you can get to know us, and we can be there with you from the younger all the way through to that last end of life.
I love it. Check out Gulfside.org, Gulfside.org to help out and get involved. More from our expert contributors here in studio, and we also have our feel-good story of the day. Metallica donates $750,000. Elton John throws in $1 million to firefighters in Australia. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be right back after a short break. And make sure you save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372, and engage with us. Anything that you've heard so far today, Attorney Richard Alexander, Allison Maughn, Gulfside Health Services here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't touch that dial.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
This is a question that comes up. TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
The 62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore. Ask Anthony about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50+ show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back to life. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that movie because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as sisters connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate you staying right here with us on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we got some great content lined up for you here. Buying, selling, or investing, we'd love to talk to you at Platinum MVP Team, Keller Williams Realty. And this segment is brought to you by Taps Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Taps Restaurant over at the International Plaza. And I love going and having a great lunch over there as well. Great ambiance, wonderful food, very friendly staff over at Taps Restaurant, International Plaza in Bay Street, right here in Tampa. And let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. They've got some really good opportunities for happy hours as well. International Mall, Bay Street, 2223 Northwest Shore Boulevard. Give a shout out to Taps Restaurant. Go say hello to them and let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, we're back here in studio. Our goal is to help you win as your consumer advocate. ConsumerQB.com is our website as well. You can submit an email form there. You can see all of our expert contributors' contact information at ConsumerQB.com and get in touch. That's how we want to help you live a better life as a goal of our show. 861 Mandalay Avenue in Clearwater. It's a beautiful property right on the beach. You got literally 200 steps and you are on the sugar sand beaches and dolphin-filled waters of Clearwater Beach here in Tampa Bay. Property's priced at $690,000 and it's below the comparables. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. You got a 3rd bedroom in the back. Beautiful beach home opportunity right here in Tampa Bay. And it's just a gorgeous property. Renovated home. Just too many extras to list here on the show. You got outdoor showers, really cool party area, like a patio area in between the two structures and a terrace. There's the awesome hangout spot right there, especially this time of year with the nice weather. All right, Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com, PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, so we are going to help you win in any marketplace. We're going to talk with Aaron Barrish now, Director of Thrift Shops, Gulfside Healthcare Services. So, yeah, a lot of cool things happening with that type of a market. Tell us a little bit more about your day-to-day.
My day-to-day is it's overseeing the operations of all 5 thrift shops here in Pasco County. Our goal is to support the mission of hospice, making sure that everybody gets the care they need at the end of their life, regardless of their ability to pay. So, Allison spoke earlier about frugal fundraising. We are definitely a part of that, looking to basically take everything that is donated to us and be able to price it fairly to help support the mission, and then also offer a quality product, at a reduced rate for our customers in our community, to make sure that all aspects of them are serviced.
I love what you said, regardless of their ability to pay, because there's so many different circumstances, so many different family backgrounds. Economic. There's a lot of different things. Talk to me about that. What does that mean? How are you guys working with that?
Well, the way we do that, so like I said, regardless of ability to pay, we make sure that whenever they come to us, whether or not they have the ability, that there's always there's funds available for them. So we strive to not be profitable, but we want to make enough revenue every day to be able to put some back to hold for those people that need it.
Less fortunate, yeah.
And we stay competitive in our pricing to make sure that we are able to offer that service continually, so that when someone comes in, they're like, oh wow, this is a great deal. And it encourages them to buy the item knowing that they're supporting the the mission of hospice.
I love that idea. And with the 5 locations, that gives you a nice coverage in Pasco County. And you're able to how much are you doing on social with your locations?
Well, we have a Facebook page that we post almost daily, our daily sales. We also will get a lot of unique items in, and we post those on Instagram as well. The items that you wouldn't normally just see, run-of-the-mill items, an antique piece of furniture, things like that, and trying to get some more followers to really see that this is what's available to you. And it's at a reduced rate, and it's kind of like the treasure you can find. And we definitely promote that on our social media pages almost daily. Yeah,
I like that. Those unique finds. That's where there's some gold in there sometimes. You know.
Yes.
There's opportunities.
Right.
So give me another example of some unique finds that you found.
Recently we got an old Victrola record player, which many people may not know what that is, and it was an actual hand crank Victrola record player. And it was one of those, and when we got it in, I mean, it was like the talk of the town, and everybody was sharing pictures of it. You know, it was like, oh my gosh, do you know anybody that wants this? And put it on there. And when you post things like that, it really grabs attention because it's not something you find, you know, here over 100 years old. And to be able to see it and see that it's still intact, and it worked.
That's cool. What did it sell for?
You know,
I'm curious now.
I believe we got over, it was a little over $300 for it. I mean, it did a little work, but just to be able to find it, I mean, somebody was able to, you know, they're going to get it and restore it now.
That's
and
a great
it's just going to be something that's going to still be around for years to come.
Somebody's going to enjoy that. It's going to be a great, you know, piece for, you know, the home cocktail party or whatever. Just a great
showpiece.
Yeah, showpiece. There you go. Great word. So we're talking with Gulfside Healthcare Services here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Aaron Barrish in studio, director of thrift shops at Gulfside. So shop, donate, volunteer. Lots of ways that our listeners, our viewers out there can get involved.
Yeah. Like I said, the shop and donate, volunteer is definitely our tagline. Not only by shopping, but by donating. I mean, everything that we receive and sell is donated. We do not purchase anything. Nothing is paid for, you know, in that sense. So, you know, going through your closet and realize, you know, I just haven't worn that in over a year, you know, give it to us and we will sell it. And then somebody else will be able to reuse it. So, you know, it's also part of being green and recycling as well. But you're also supporting the mission. And then same thing with the volunteering, you know, you may have had a personal connection, you know, a family member was in hospice and you want to pay it back, but you're not really quite comfortable dealing with the patient care side. This is the indirect way that you can, you know, volunteer and you're still helping in an indirect way. And it means just as much, if not more, to do it that way as well.
I like that. Number to call is this 800 number, 561-4883.
Yes.
So yeah, if you're a listener out there and you're thinking, hey, you know, that's, you know, it's that time of year, spring cleaning, get the, you know, got stuff in my garage, bikes and some other things. So I'm thinking personally, like, yeah, I'm going to call that number 800-561-4883. And, you know, you go through your closet, there's some clothing in there that you haven't worn in the last 6 months, a year. You know, great to donate that. Other people can need or are needing that and can use that. And, you know, they're going to be able to purchase it at a discount through the shops. And it's a win-win for a lot of people. I think it's also kind of on that line of karma, you know, rather than hoarding and keeping things, you know, let things flow. You know, that's the same thing with money. Leave a big tip when you get good service. Leave a big tip. That's going to flow. That's going to perpetuate. It's supposed to be fluid out there, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. So yeah, so volunteers. Now, when you say volunteer, what does that mean? Coming into the shops?
Yeah. So the volunteers, we just label them as thrift shop volunteers. It's kind of a general title for it because there's so many things that can be done, anywhere from accepting the donations at the back door, sorting the donations, cleaning them, pricing them, putting them on the floor, ringing them at the register. You know, there's so many different aspects of it, because the items we receive, they don't come prepackaged, you know, like on a big box truck, and we know what it is. It's, you know, Christmas every day, you know, you open it up. So everything has to be individually touched. So there's a lot of work that goes involved with getting those items prepared to sell. So we've got multiple tasks for a volunteer, and everybody's got their own little niche that they can, you know, do to make sure that, you know, all the products are available for sale in a timely manner.
That they gravitate to. Somebody's going to say, yeah, I'd like to do this more than that.
Right.
So that's great. Everybody's got their natural. And so you can keep them busy is what you're saying.
Yes, we can. There's always something to do.
You can find something for them to do. That's right.
Yes.
So shop, donate, volunteer. Gulfside Healthcare Services is the website. Website is actually gulfside.org. Very nice, simple website, gulfside.org. Check them out. And phone number 800-561-4883. 800-561-4883. Shop, donate, volunteer. Gulfside Healthcare Services doing a lot of good in the community, helping folks out. I think this is one of the most overlooked areas in our community, you know, as far as dealing with seniors, the home health care, or even accidents, you know, with the palliative care, the accidents, and you know, so you're doing a lot of good in the community. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to open it up as well. I want to go back to attorney Richard Alexander. And when you see kind of a tie-in here, I'm thinking there's a tie-in along the personal injury lines. You know, people get injured, they need palliative care. Am I saying the right one,
They'll
Allison,
probably need home health care if they
health.
get that injury and they get that surgery, and then they need someone to come help them in the home.
Some home health care.
Mhm.
So you're working on personal injury law as well, Richard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We do a lot of that actually. That's predominantly what we do the most of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you look at, that there's a couple tie-ins there. What else? So we were talking about the texting law. That's, the phone's in the hand. Now it's a primary offense. Now that's opening up to, they might have something else in their car.
Well, again, that's the one thing I always worry about is Fourth Amendment issues because, yes, now that it is a primary offense and law enforcement approaches the vehicle and can develop probable cause for anything else.
Yeah.
And, what it's going to do is turn the Fourth Amendment on its head in certain instances because, let's just say with the medical marijuana card, we've talked about that before. We don't have personal consumption laws in the state of Florida, but we do have medical marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Is that probable cause to get into the vehicle?
Mm.
Because you say, well, wait a minute, I'm legal. I have a medical marijuana card, but
Right.
yet the smell of marijuana is so unique
Right.
that, every cop, in the world knows what it smells like.
Right.
So is that enough to get you out of the vehicle?
Yeah.
And then can you perform a search on the vehicle?
Right.
Even though you're legally allowed to carry, medical marijuana.
Right.
And it may smell, you may have it on your clothes. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yep.
It's not the issue. The issue is that what else, the Pandora's box, the slippery
Exactly.
slope.
Yeah.
What else does that open us up to?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I see texting and driving being the same kind of animal.
Wow. And it's to the point where something needs to happen. Wasn't there another law changed too about the e-cigarettes went up to 21?
It's a federal law, yes.
Federal law, 21
yeah.
years old. I got to say that's probably a good idea. I mean, a lot of these kids are, they're getting lured in by the banana, blueberry, and all these different things. Try this flavor,
Listen,
and they don't realize the health ramifications.
Yeah, the tobacco industry is fierce. You know that.
Yep.
It's all about, turning the money, and they did a great job, quote unquote, of luring, the 18-year-olds, the 19-year-olds, the 20-year-olds to start doing vaping.
Yep.
Which has become quite attractive to that crowd.
Yes.
And finally, especially, there's a bullseye right now on Juul and all of those other similar companies when it comes to vaping. And finally, the federal government says, that's it. We've had enough.
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
Done.
Right.
And the flavor ones, actually, I think they're going to do away with the flavor. The different kind of, strawberry and like you just mentioned a couple of those. I think the federal government's going to say, nope, that's it. We're not going to have any more flavor ones now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, they have a bullseye on
But it's so
their back.
enticing for those kids, they're like strawberry, banana, this one, that. It's like, man, I don't smoke. That sounds good,
It's
what? That flavor?
It's funny you mentioned that, Brandon, because I've been asking a lot of people at the 7-Eleven. I said, what's been the feedback? What's been the pushback when 19 and 20-year-olds said, what do you mean I can't buy it?
Exactly.
I bought it in December. Why can't I buy it now?
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
it's no longer legal for me to sell it to you.
Yeah. Now they start caring about government. They start wondering about civics, and they start listening to politics, because that group is probably largely withdrawn, right? I mean, unless they're real activists in certain areas. But, that's called how rules can change, how laws can change, how amendments can happen. And
how about that?
How about that, right? TrustAlexanderLaw.com. TrustAlexanderLaw.com. Attorney Richard Alexander. All right, when we come back, more from our expert contributors. We've got Gulfside Healthcare Services in studio. We're going to have our lightning round and our feel-good story of the day. Find out about what Elton John and Metallica have teamed up to do right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. Ian Beck.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with D'Angelo Star.
The 62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember
Ask Anthony about
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for help.
Backles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that movie because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. This segment is brought to you by Infinity Medical Institute. Say hello to our friends over at Infinity Medical Institute. Over 10 years in the business, successfully treating over 40,000 patients, and they are the leading experts in bio-natural hormone replacement therapy right here in Tampa Bay. They're on West Shore Boulevard in Tampa, online at infinitymedicalinstitute.com. And they offer low T therapy, weight loss plans, cosmetic services such as Botox, improved sexual wellness, and increased energy. And they're also bringing in stem cells very, very soon. I was talking to Mike over there, and they've got stem cells coming in. So great team, Mike and Kat Montemuro over there at Infinity Medical Institute. Make sure you give them a call. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, we're back here in studio. Every day, we're going to tell you something positive in our feel-good story of the day. That's coming right up. But we also have a hot property listing here at 216 North Spring Boulevard in Tarpon Springs. This is a gorgeous property. And it was interesting. We had the mayor of Tarpon Springs on the show a while back, and he said he was talking about Tarpon Springs has the most amount of waterfront properties in the state of Florida. I did not realize that. And it was interesting. But 216 North Spring Boulevard, Tarpon Springs, room for a pool in the back, completely updated, beautiful flooring, nice floor plan, and granite countertops in the kitchen. Room in the back for a pool, and you are walkability. You got ultra high walkability here. You can walk to dinner, walk to restaurants. Excellent, excellent location. One of the hot real estate listings that we have at 216 North Springs Boulevard in Tarpon Springs. Check it out at platinummvpteam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, we're going to tell you something good here in our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, got Metallica donate $750,000. Elton John kicks in $1 million to help firefighters in Australia. So they're teaming up, and there's amongst many musicians who announced donations, and I think there's even more rolling out, I've heard as well. On Tuesday, they said in Sydney, Elton John pledged $1 million to help combat fires. And, quote, "We should all be in awe of the work firefighters are doing." And also, these are people out there who have lost their lives trying to save homes. There are people who have lost their lives and their homes. And Metallica announced they are donating $750,000 to NSW Rural Fire Services and Country Fire Authority in Victoria through their charitable foundations as well. In a statement released, they felt overwhelmed by the wildfires, and they are sweeping through the country as a resulting devastation that affects that has on residents, animals, environments. The incredible land of Australia is truly heartbreaking, what they're seeing there right now. So help them out. Keep them in your prayers. And thanks to Metallica and Elton John for kicking in some loot. I think I heard more about even, who was it, maybe Ellen or some of them donating. I don't know if you guys heard anything. More money's coming in to help the firefighters. I know we sent some firefighters from California as well out there with their expertise that they have fighting out there in California. So I love the feel-good stories coming together and fighting those fires. All right, so in studio, we got attorney Richard Alexander, trustalexanderlaw.com, Allison Maughn, Chief Financial Officer, Gulfside Healthcare Services, Aaron Barrish, Director of Thrift Shops at Gulfside Healthcare Services as well. So you had an interesting story. We were talking about the volunteers, and I think the number is close to 200 volunteers per year that you have. You always need more volunteers, but it saved a lot of money as the CFO. Tell us about that.
I tell you what, and hospice is founded on the idea of volunteers, which, I don't know, 30 years ago, that was key. And taking care of patients in the home. In the thrift shops, we offer that other volunteer opportunity. So everyone that works in there, we have about 200, but we could use double that. And the charity care that we have in hospice alone doubles almost every year. So for instance, when I started with Gulfside 4 years ago, it was about $300,000. We're up to $750,000, $800,000 worth of charity care. And the volunteers alone, though, what they do and they donate for time allows us to save over $1 million in a year's time, just from the number of hours they commit to our mission. So thank you, every single volunteer that's out there. But come on in and we'll take anybody 16 and older.
And Aaron, you were mentioning too, sometimes younger children can get involved. 15, 16-year-olds can get involved, and it helps them out with their education and something great on their resume.
Right, yes. A lot of the students are trying to get their Bright Future Scholarship, and there's an hour requirement that they have to get. And we love to have them come in. They come in after school. They work for a couple of hours every day. It doesn't interfere with their homework or their studies or anything. And then they can, of course, come in and work on Saturday when we're open. And we love having the younger, fresh, minded, students come in and do that, because they're helping themselves, but they're helping someone else at the same time. So it's a good feel good on both sides.
I like that.
So
good stuff. All right, it's time for the lightning round.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, here we go. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Allison, let us know what you got.
That we're here to help you from home health, palliative care, all the way to the hospice. Absolutely. We're your partner in this process of aging gracefully in your home.
That's right. And Gulfside.org. Gulfside.org is the website. Attorney Richard Alexander.
Well, 2020 is a presidential election year, and on the Florida ballot this year, we'll be able to decide whether or not we want to raise the Florida minimum wage to $15 by the year of 2026. So I'm just telling everybody, as an educator and as an attorney, for God's sakes, vote, but make sure you know exactly what you're voting for.
Yeah.
I have an opinion, but that's not the point. The point is become educated before you decide to cast that ballot.
Yeah. Get out there and vote, and make sure you understand the ballot. There's a lot to be said about understanding the ballot. It's like they throw in these double negatives, and tell us about that. How can we be more diligent about understanding the ballot?
Well, yeah, that's the point. It's generally written by lawyers, and the lawyers speak, and that's part of the problem. But the last time this happened, not only did Hillsborough County residents raise taxes on ourselves once, we did it twice.
Wow.
On the same ballot.
Wow.
The penny and then the half penny.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean, is just become educated regardless of how you vote. I'm
Yeah.
a big proponent of voting, but just please get educated on the issues before you go in there.
Yeah, exactly. Aaron Barrish, Director of Thrift Shops, Gulfside Healthcare Services.
Yes.
Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom.
Well, like I said, it just goes back to, our whole, motto is shop, volunteer, donate. We love for you to shop with us because you're helping support the mission. Donating, everything is, what's old is new again, and volunteering, you're giving back more than you ever will know by helping out.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, good stuff there. I like that. Lots of great ideas on the show and ways that you can get involved. And I'll take a little while here and just kind of mention about marketing. I talk to a lot of business owners out there, a lot of realtors, and I want to discuss the status is like, we're in 2020 now. There's ways that you could market, and it's free. It's called a cell phone. Okay, it's called an iPhone. You pick it up, you open up an app called Facebook, and you hit the live button, which actually means live, right? And you hit live, and you talk about your business. You talk about your houses that you're selling. You talk about your service, your volunteers that you need. You talk about all the different things that you want to talk about. And you know what's amazing is it's free, and a lot of people will pick it up. A lot of people will see it, and they'll enjoy the content, and they'll like the content, and they'll know that you are a local expert in your area. And so there's ways that we can do it. I think so many times business owners, salespeople, we overcomplicate things, and we overanalyze, and it's like, and we have this fear of being on camera sometimes. Open up the phone, say what you want to say. Instagram, LinkedIn, you can do videos, and if videos aren't your thing, do the written word. Get good at blogging, get good at putting your message out, and people are going to resonate. People want to have your services. Look at a lot of ways that you can grow your business, grow your sphere, grow your celebrity through free apps that we have, and create emojis or however you want to do it. Richard, by the way, you do a great job with that on your pages. I love the content you put out.
That's my third job.
Yeah, exactly. We all have that extra job, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. Hey, another great show. I want to thank our expert contributors, our producers, our team behind the scenes putting it on. And we want to remind you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.